Namaste to all. In the 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna Maharaj tells to Arjun that these are the attributes of a human being, or these are the qualities of a human being which I consider as knowledge. Otherwise, I can surely say that that person is not a knowledgeable person. What are those 20 qualities? I think each and every quality is very deep and in fact very, very practical. Point number one is amanitvam. Amanitvam means we can say humbleness. We have an unconscious bias that we get pride in our property or our skin color or our beauty or our dressing or our wealth, health, etc. So but these kind of unconscious pride inside ourselves, we always distance ourselves from Almighty God. So Sri Krishna says one who is humble is a knowledgeable person. One who is having pride on his possessions and etc. Amanit, one who is having man, and one who expects the help from others. Like example, I help somebody when he is in needy situation, I help him. But when I am in needy situation, I expect that he must help me because I have helped him. This is not acceptable in the Sanatana Dharma path. We must be humble. When you are ready to help somebody, you must help without expecting his help again. If he is helping, that is his good nature. But if he is not helping, you should not hate them. So this kind of character we should try to build this, and that is how it will lead us to the knowledgeable path or the Vedic Sanatana Dharma path. So Sri Krishna says you should be humble. Number two, he says adambitvam. Damb means hypocrite. Adambitvam means freedom from hypocrisy. So many practices exist today, in terms of superstition and hypocritic practices, which has taken the humanity outside. Far outside from Almighty God. We have established ourselves firmly in a hypocritic zone, believing in some other God, believing in various different types of worship. Killing animals is termed as worship. Worshipping gods which do not exist. Worshipping books, following the books written by human beings as God books. These kind of hypocritic practices we have started in today's times. This is not called as knowledge as per Sri Krishna Maharaj. Further, Sri Krishna says ahimsa, non-violence. Ahimsa I have spoken about in so many videos. Ahimsa means we cannot hurt others, even by words or by actions. We cannot hurt other human beings, and we cannot hurt or kill other living beings for our survival. Killing a cow and eating its meat, killing a horse or killing a bird or killing any other animal for us to eat and then satisfy our hunger is called as violence. So this violence is actually against Dharma. Violence means ignorance. Non-violence is knowledge. That's what Sri Krishna says. And further, Shanti. Shanti means peacefulness, or we can say forgiveness. When you forgive somebody, by heart when you forgive somebody, you gain peace. And when you also, my Acharya says, peace is always obtained when you adopt Dharma in your life. When there is a situation where you are tempted to do an adharma karma, but that point of time you decide that you will not do that karma, and the moment you leave that place or leave that situation, you will gain immense internal peace. That is called as Shanti. And the Shanti is called as knowledge as per Sri Krishna Maharaj. Further, Sri Krishna says Arjavam. I have explained in my previous videos if you have seen the 26 qualities. Arjavam means straightforwardness, speaking straightly. That if I don't like something about you, I just tell to you very straightly, instead of thinking something inside my heart and then I am speaking sweet to you. That is not called as Arjavam. Arjavam is a very, very good nature of Jnani people or Mahapurush people. They always speak straightforwardly, but they will be very humble and very sweet. The next point is Acharya Upasanam. Extremely important point. Today, in today's world, there are millions of false gurus. False guru means that guru who never preaches his disciple the Vedic Dharma. That guru who tells that he has attained Almighty God by following any other path other than the Vedic path. It is impossible. God says in the Vedas, Na anya pantaha vidyate ayanaya. There is only one path, there is no second path. You cannot realize, somebody cannot attain enlightenment by following their own path. So that person is not an Acharya. So Acharya Upasana means getting close towards Acharya. Getting close towards Acharya and doing Upasana means serving the Acharya is called as Acharya Upasana. And further, Sri Krishna says Shaucham. Shaucham means cleanliness, both the external cleanliness and also internal cleanliness. Internal cleanliness is always achieved by doing tapasya, by doing meditation, by doing dhyana, dharana, etc., by doing pranayama. These things will ensure our internal cleanliness, means that our mind will become pure. External is by taking bath or following ahimsa or doing agnihotra every day will secure our external cleanliness. The next point is stairyam. Stairyam means steadfastness. In any situation, we should not deviate from the Vedic dharma. That is called as stairyam. Just because there is a situation in our life, we say, okay, fine, for this situation, let me do something adharma. That is not called as stairyam. Adopting stairyam or adopting steadfastness in our life is called as jnana or knowledge or wisdom. Leaving it at any situation is ignorance, Sri Krishna says. And further Sri Krishna says, Atma Vinigraha. Atma Vinigraha means self-control, control of our perceptions, control of our mind, so that we direct our senses and perceptions in the path of Almighty God. That is self-control or self-discipline is called as Atma Vinigraha. This is told in one of the sloka. The next sloka Sri Krishna says about further qualities. Sri Krishna says, Indriyarteshu Vairagyam. Indriya Artha means the aim of the Indriya. The senses have been provided by Almighty God for certain purpose, but we misuse the senses. For example, God has given us the, let's say, mouth and the tongue. Tongue is the sensory organ. We misuse it. God has given us the skin. The skin is given for us for a specific purpose in the spiritual path, but we misuse the skin. So, Indriya Arteshu Vairagya means to utilize, to control our Indriya for its proper use. To not control the Indriya and then putting it in another use. For example, smoking or drinking alcohol is prohibited by Almighty God. Smoking is again, taking us away from Almighty God, taking us away from our meditative path, taking us away from the Vedic Sanatan Dharma. Similarly, drinking alcohol, similarly eating meat, similarly doing lot of, sparsha with opposite sex. Even in the Grihastha Ashram, Almighty God speaks about following Brahmacharya. We must always abide by the rules of Brahmacharya, which will give us long life, which will give the family a very peaceful atmosphere. So, Indriya Arteshu Vairagyam, we must be ascetic in nature. We must not, spend our energy in unnecessary things, is what Sri Krishna says. And this is called as knowledge, not ignorance. The next point is Anahankaram. Ahankar means, ego. Anahankara means lack of ego. Every time we face this situation day in and day out, if we are in a respectable position in a company, we get ego when our subordinate speaks something bad to us, or when subordinate behaves something which is not liked by us, we get high ego. Or in the family also, husband is having a high ego against wife and vice versa. We don't treat our parents with humbleness, with respect. We shout at them sometimes. This is not allowed in the Sanatan Dharma. We must be humble, but we should not have this high ego, showing ego in front of big people, learned people, acharyas. This is called as mood vritti, and in this vritti we can never follow dharma. Please understand that. So further Sri Krishna says, Janama Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukku Dosha Anudarshanam. Arjuna, you must understand that you must keep in your mind the evil thing of birth, death, old age and disease. Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukku Dosham. You must see the duk in that. The birth of a person is the reason for the duk. The moment we take birth, we are surely in this world, we will enjoy some pleasures, we will undergo a lot of pains. So you must understand that the taking birth and going for death, this cycle is totally duk cycle. You must realize this. And also when you take birth, obviously you have to become old, and when you do not follow, when you do not control your senses, you will get into disease. Vyadi, so many diseases will come in the old age, and the old age will be full of suffering. So you must understand Janama Mrityu Jara Vyadi. Jara means older age, and Vyadi means lot of diseases. Dukku Dosh, this is called as dosha, this is called as dukkha. You must understand this and keep in your mind. Anudarshanam. Here the word Anu, my Acharya has beautifully explained. Anu means you can always understand this. The cycle of death and birth is painful only after doing tapasya. Anu means after yoga abhyas. Anu means after Veda Adhyayan. Anu means after studying Vedas from the Acharya, you can understand. Otherwise, nobody has time to analyze birth and death. Nobody has time to analyze, okay, old age is coming. Nobody has, even in the old age, there are so many people, they do a lot of bad things. They don't understand that I am having suffering because of my own practices, because of my own karma. So Anudarshanam is very, very important. And further, Sri Krishna Maharaj says in the next sloka, so this is all in the 13th chapter from sloka number 7 onwards. The next point Sri Krishna beautifully says is about Asaktir Anabhishwangaha Putradhara Grihadishu, means being non-attached or being detached. How can we become detached? My Acharya always says the only way you can become non-attached or detached is by keeping your mind in the lotus feet of Almighty God or Acharya or Vedas. Of course, God does not have a physical feet. Lotus feet means here we have to always remember Almighty God when you do karma. You cannot remember Almighty God many times because God is formless. So my Acharya always says that you must always keep your mind with your Acharya. Acharya is having a form. Acharya is a Samadhisth yogi. If you have an Acharya, keep your mind in your Acharya and do your daily deeds. Then your detachment will automatically come. Something happens in the business. Something happens at our home. Suddenly somebody is having an accident. Because of our non-attachment nature, slowly and slowly we will not be impacted by those incidences or those problems. And then next is, do not Putra Dara Grihadishu, absence of, we should not get cling, momamta, we can say, on our spouses, on our children or our property. When you have so much of clinging towards them, it is called as ignorance, Arjuna. You must lead your life with non-attachment or detachment. You should not have so much of clingingness towards all these things. You must understand that you are Jivatma, they are also Jivatma. So, but what happens is all over our life, we spend so much of energy to satisfy their bodily needs. Either it could be spouse or it could be children or it could be relatives, anybody. But we never work towards their Atmic needs. We never give them the knowledge of Vedas because we do not have the knowledge of Vedas. We never take them to an Acharya because we also do not have an Acharya. We always try to satisfy them only physically, not Atmically, and then get bound into materialism instead of going towards spiritualism. So Sri Krishna says absence of clinging is knowledge, clinging towards these things is ignorance. And further Sri Krishna says Ishta Nishto Papattishu Nityam Samachittavam. When something happens, you must have, like for example, there is some desired outcome for an activity or an undesired outcome for an activity. You must have even-mindedness. You must take the loss and profit equally. You must take if you get a benefit or if you get a loss, you must have even-mindedness in your life. This is called as knowledge. Opposite to that is ignorance. But by reading this sloka, can we ever be able to achieve this trait? Not possible at all. Why? Because we lack listening Vedas knowledge. Here Sri Krishna speaks exactly the Yajurveda 40th chapter only. God says exactly the same thing. It is my property. God says, the place where you live is my place because I am omnipresent. You are living in my place, but you are claiming itself to be your place. So how will you be non-attached? You can never gain the non-attachment. God says in the Yajurveda. Same thing Sri Krishna says. Something happens, loss, profit happens in the work, salary suddenly gets reduced by your the management. Suddenly, okay, from next month 10% salary cut because of business loss. We totally get so much impact because of this. Yes, there could be impact, but we must understand that, we must try to be even-minded, because when you are even-minded, then you can do your daily tapasya. But when you have so much attachment towards your money, you cannot do daily tapasya. So that's why Sri Krishna says you must have even-mindedness towards the desired and undesired outcomes of the life. And next sloka, Sri Krishna beautifully explains, Mai Ananya Yogena Avyabhicharini Bhakti. Keeping your bhakti on and only towards me. Here, me does not mean Sri Krishna as a person. We know Sri Krishna is a yogi. Inside the yogi, the Almighty God is manifested. So you must keep undoubted faith and Shraddha on the Almighty God and then follow the Vedas path. Even for example, somebody might argue, no, we must keep faith on Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is no more. Sri Krishna is already dead. Sri Krishna left his body several thousand years back. So this is the point Sri Krishna is trying to tell to Arjun, that you must keep faith and Shraddha on Acharya who has attained Samadhi and the Almighty God who is manifested inside that Acharya. So here God, whenever there is a word that Avyabhicharini Ananya Yogena, there is no one else, there is only one. Whenever there is a word of none other than me, that is Almighty God only. Because God is always one. Acharyas are so many. Here we have to interpret the meaning as the Almighty God. So keeping deepest faith and Shraddha on Almighty God is called as knowledge. Opposite to that is ignorance, Sri Krishna says. And further, Sri Krishna says, inclination towards solitary places. That means you must try to go to Ekant Desha and do tapasya. You must always get attracted towards silence or solitary places so that you can pursue your tapasya every day. And further he says that Jana Samsadi Aratihi, keep away from your mundane societies. Like there is a bazaar going on, I have to go and enjoy there. I have 100 friends coming, so many relatives are coming, we are going outside. Always in your mind is on enjoyment with so many people. None of them is having Vedic knowledge, you also do not have. It's called as mundane society. And when you go into that society, you will also develop your mind will become mundane. Your mind will come out of Almighty God. You will go against the knowledge of Almighty God. So aversion towards mundane society must be your main aim, and you must always get attracted towards that society who is knowledgeable person. And then when you have many people coming for celebration, dancing, party, you must not do these things, because you must control your senses to realize your ultimate aim, which is Almighty God, is what Sri Krishna says. And further Sri Krishna says in the last shloka, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, means constancy in the spiritual knowledge, we can say. Adhyatma Jnana means spiritual knowledge. And Nityatva means constantly, every day pursuing the eternal knowledge of Vedas, every day learning it, every day listening from Acharya, every day doing Agnihotra, every day praising the Almighty God. This is called as Nityatvam. And also he says finally, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Tattva means realizing the truth, realizing the philosophical pursuit. You must have a pursuit to realize the absolute truth. You must have a pursuit, you must have a philosophical thinking in your life to realize that Almighty God. So this is called as philosophical pursuit of absolute truth. These are the things called Etad Jnanam. These 20 things what I have explained to you, Arjuna, is called as Jnanam. And opposite to this, Anyata Ajnanam, opposite to this is called as ignorance. So you can try to revise this video. I think it's a big video, but try to see once again. You will definitely get more knowledge. I have done this video after several times of studying, going through it. My Acharya has explained so many concepts inside each and every shloka. I tried to summarize it shortly for you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.